Hello!
Hi! Sorry.
Welcome to Dragon Tavern, our show about all things Dungeons and Dragons and beyond sometimes. And this...
D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond is... We're not sponsored by them yet.
We have no affiliation with D&D
We can't, but they're cool. There's a game I play in that uses it. We're way off track. Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons, we're here to review the cartoon from the mid-80s, which was fantastic and wholesome and lovely.
Yes, because you guys were so receptive of the fourth one we did, and we did put out, we thought as a high goal, 150 views before we do the next one. You guys hit that within a week.
So here we are, doing the next
one.
episode.
Yes.
Now, I love this show to pieces because
I'm starting to get fond of it.
It's the most wholesome 20 minutes of television that I've ever been compelled to enjoy.
And the funny thing is, Eric's becoming my favourite character because he says what's on my mind. It's
He's the only reasonable character.
It's like, they're like, let's go find the Dungeon Master. Why?
Yeah,
he's been no help to us.
He's the one that kidnapped us, essentially, and brought us to this world.
He kidnapped children.
Making us jump through hoops when he could just send us home on our way, but no.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is episode 5 of the first season, called In Search of the Dungeon Master.
I had high hopes for this, just because of the previous run of brilliance.
Really? Brilliance, is that the word you're going
I'm going with brilliance.
Okay.
So we've got the small creepy old man, Dungeon Master, who seems to be all powerful, but still manages to get very easily captured in this episode.
Yeah, and he has all these powers he doesn't use.
Also, I kind of feel like Dungeon Master is the kind of Dungeon Master who doesn't actually plan any deep meaning to anything of his encounters. But when the party says something like, he says, DM says, go and find the forest with no trees. And the party goes, but all forests have trees. It must mean no trees. And the dungeon, I'm pretty sure that's just the Dungeon Master going, yeah, that's what I meant. Yep.
Yep, that's totally...
Scribble.
So we'll go through the episode as it happened. So, as Ollie said, they are confused by the Dungeon Master's instructions, and the party ends up talking to a random talking tree in the woods. Which
not only knows like a lot of stuff because he's a no tree, but he also has knowledge of this other world.
Why is it called a no tree?
It doesn't make any sense.
It's a tree that talks as an ent.
And it just seems to know everything.
Yeah.
Which, could be quite useful considering they're stuck in this dimension, but they don't bother to ask it any questions.
It knows stuff about the real world as well.
Yeah, because one of the guys, the little barbarian dude is like, who won the World Series and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, in our world it's this, in your world it was that. And I'm like, well, if you know about this is your key.
I would have thought, like, how do we get home? Or, is my family okay? How long have we been here for? Give me some answers.
Who's this creepy old dude that just keeps following us around?
What's his real name? I'm pretty sure it's not Dungeon Master.
It's not a name that people have.
But meanwhile, while they're talking to this no tree, Dungeon Master is riding a snail, as you do.
Literally...
and talking to a pixie.
The least effective mount in the world. A snail. A giant snail. And the pixie, which talks in gobble 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 language.
And says like a random word that actually is English.
And then somehow the thief manages to just perfectly understand him.
Yeah, later on the episode.
I don't know if that's speak with animals or just an oversight.
But basically the Dungeon Master encounters some bullybugs.
Yeah, they fight frogs, basically.
Bullybugs.
Yeah.
Bullybugs. Nice. I believe that's the technical D&D
official
name.
Oh, look at me.
It's because that's part of the companion race.
Right.
It's a very important race.
Oh, well, there you go.
So basically, the bullybugs try and capture the DM.
Yeah.
But, like, they throw a net over the DM.
Yeah.
And he smiles.
Yeah.
Because he's able to magically throw it off.
Yeah.
And then Warduke, who's actually a D&D character in lore. No, it's called Warduke.
I've got Marduk written down.
It's called Warduke. I looked it up.
Pretty sure it's Marduk.
I'm pretty sure it's Warduke.
Yeah, Marduk.
You want to go look it up? Right now? It is Warduke. So I looked it up because I thought maybe this was the character that they invented for the show. It actually turns out to be a
part of the D&D lore.
D&D lore.
So the Dungeon Master's like, no trap can hold me. And then Warduke shows up and goes, well, I kind of can. And
captures him.
There's no resistance from the Dungeon Master at that point. He's like, I'm captured.
So apparently in this world, Dungeon Master isn't like some kind of deity or anything. He can be captured. So he could be travelling with the party the entire time.
Helping them
out, being just another regular party member. But he chooses not to.
No.
DM's dick.
He chooses to throw out these like half-wise sayings that don't really mean anything, and then
I think every player can relate to that. The DM.
So basically, Eric the Dick, or Eric the Brave, as he's actually called, we call him Eric the Dick.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, why should we put our neck out for this random dude?
I agree with Eric.
Putting us through all this crap. And he goes off on his own and never split the party, but
yeah, well, they basically find out that from the Pixie that the DM's in trouble.
Yeah, the pixie that only one of them can understand inexplicably. But yeah.
And then they decide to travel and try and save the DM, much to Eric's dismay.
Yeah.
He doesn't leave the party yet because they get saved by these random ass creatures first. But we'll get to that. Back at the DM with the DM and the War Duke.
Yeah.
The War Duke is going to sell the DM to Venger.
Yeah, he wants to impress Venger, basically. Seems like a lot of people do in this world.
Yeah. I actually, because I've looked ahead in the series, there is a reason why Venger and the DM have this relationship.
I'm excited to find that out.
That you don't find that out in the episodes, because they never produced that episode.
Oh, was it the last one?
But in the finale, they explained what it is.
Because the last one, correct me if I'm wrong, was only ever released as a script online.
Yeah. Well, I think it was released as an audio thing as well. So we might review it as well.
Maybe.
If we ever get to that final episode.
So, yeah, essentially Dungeon Master gets pretty easily captured, and this guy that is just sucking up to Venger is like, I'll sell you the gem and the powers. And
So we go back to the party with the pixie, telling them where the Dungeon Master is. So they travel, and then they get picked up by these random sphinxes.
Yeah, these like weird griffin things just kind of come out of nowhere.
I looked up sphinxes.
Sphinxes come out. Stop showing me up with your knowledge and research.
I'm just doing a lot more work and I want it known. Because otherwise no one would know.
Yeah, so essentially these griffins, sphinxes come down and they don't seem to say, hey, a whole horde of flying creatures, this could be really useful. They just come by and then they fly off and that's
they kind of pick them up, move them to where they're supposed to go and go away, and the pixie's like, hee 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 hee.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pixie.
Yeah,
you could have just told them because one person understands you.
Yeah,
so
somehow.
you could have said, hey, I've got these sphinxes that will help you out.
Yeah.
You're cool of getting on these beasts and taking you directly there. And instead he goes, hee, just climb this mountain so they can pick you up.
Yeah. He's also got like tendrils coming out of his head as well. He's got like this weird. I don't
even know what it is. Is it a pixie? Is it a fairy?
They call him a fairy throughout the whole thing.
I think it's more of a pixie.
I've never seen a fairy with like.
I've never seen a fairy in general.
Okay, well that's a good point. To be fair, last time I was hanging out with a bunch of fairies.
Yeah, just chilling out
in a uniform. Yeah, fantastic. Then they meet some like weird. No wait, the giant golem attacks them.
Yeah, so basically by this point they've found this dark cave and Eric's just like, I'm out of here. This is not worth it.
Yeah.
Then they go in and basically I put a rock goblin with knives, basically a Wolverine.
And I just put a giant golem attacks them because it's like this weird half.
He's got like nine claws for hands, so it's Wolverine as a golem. That's basically what it is.
I mean, there's a lot of monsters in the history of D&D. Like,
I couldn't find it
from the original to now. I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it's just a rock goblin with.
And then at some point, one of the party members calls someone a bacon face. And I just thought, like, what?
What is a bacon face?
That's not an insult, really. That's a nonsense statement.
If you've got a face of a pig, I guess
bacon face. Okay, I can kind of see that. But pig face works better than bacon face, because bacon is quite delicious.
Well, bacon implies that someone would eat you.
Yeah, so it's almost a compliment. I like bacon.
It's almost like, you're ugly, and someone would eat you.
Personally, I find bacon very desirable, so if someone desirable. So call me bacon face.
Some pigs are cute as well, so I guess... If like bacon face means you're ugly enough to not actually be a cute pig face.
It seemed like a weird out of place comment.
It was, yeah.
Then some ogres just grab them with very little resistance.
Orcs. I put orcs.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure.
I think they're more orcish because
they had the tusks.
Because ogres are like more pale.
Yeah, they're larger as well.
Yeah, they're larger. So
basically, the party does this: they flail their legs and go, help! And then they just get kidnapped
and enslaved, basically.
And then
we're now entering child labor.
Yeah, and all they do is hit rocks with big things. I don't know, they're mining for something. But
with dwarfs.
It seemed very.
That's gun racist.
And a dwarf that speaks like Yoda out of nowhere as well. There's this one dwarven dude who just, help you, I will. And it's like, well, it's clear that George Lucas just ripped off the whole Yoda.
And we'll find out later how many dwarfs are actually there.
Yeah,
they could have helped them.
Yeah.
There were so many dwarves, like in comparison to how many orcs versus how many dwarfs.
Also, basically, this is the first time we've met a dwarven race in the entire world of this Dungeon Master weird place. And they all of them just seem to be enslaved by these orcs who are not really.
And they're not really
powerful.
Putting up a fight as well.
No,
and the minute they get free, they just walk out. But we go back to Eric.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Eric is now in a swamp somehow.
Yeah.
And he meets this undead creature who gets terrified by it.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Then he falls in a hole and somehow just happens to land.
That's not yet.
That's
Because
not
we
yet?
get clips of Eric throughout the episode
Oh, yeah.
until he helps them
So
out.
at no point has Eric kind of gone, I'm in pretty much an infinite unknown plane, this huge dangerous place that I've never been to in my life before, but I'm just going to abandon the other people I was with that have weapons and resources and stuff.
But to be honest, he wants to abandon them because they want to help the one guy that got him in this mess in the first
Which is
place.
slightly understandable. There's got to be a part of your brain going, I've been kidnapped from my world, I'm not going to abandon the other people.
If I put you in a situation that you didn't want to be in, and then I got in trouble, would you help me?
Well, we've been doing the channel for a long time. I feel like I can come out with
You feel like, well, who else am I going to do the channel
exactly.
with?
This is not going to work if it's me going, isn't that right? And there's just an empty space over
It's just
there.
a puppet.
Yeah, so then, Sheila does apparently can just turn invisible whenever she wants.
Oh yeah, so just for the story point of it, Sheila wasn't captured with the rest of them.
Because she can turn invisible whenever she wants.
Because she's a thief.
Yes. Which,
Yeah.
slightly OP. But
Yeah. So Sheila basically releases Uni,
Yeah.
because Uni's in a cage, and they kind of make hints they're going to eat Uni.
Yeah. I'd also just like to point out how useless wild magic has been throughout this entire series. It's been useful twice.
But I'd like to compliment how useful Uni's been, because he's the...
Uni is the best character.
That's the only one that saves the day.
Uni is the most useful, resourceful character.
Because Uni gets out, distracts them all,
Yeah.
and then they manage to kind of get free.
Yeah.
By this point, they find the DM who has been frozen and his life force is kind of fading.
And then the Avenger kills him, and the life force fades entirely. And it's like, oh, okay, well, that's the end of that.
Yeah,
and then later it's like, oh, he wasn't actually dead. And it's like, well, surely you should make sure.
The amulet's useless. What does the
It
amulet
does
do?
nothing.
Because there's the amulet that
Yeah,
saves his
win out.
life force and win out.
Yeah.
So it's just like...
And Venger's like, I have one! And then Dungeon Master's like, I'm still alive. And he's like, ah.
And then boops
doof.
it. No, then he blasts him and he just vanishes.
Yeah.
Venger.
Yeah.
If he's that powerful, why does he need these kids?
Yeah.
I don't get this.
Yeah, this is basically like the biggest boss that all the other underlords are looking up to, who's got this massive castle, who we've seen survive explosions, massive buildings collapsing upon him. He can shoot lasers out of his hands and create lightning and stuff,
And Dungeon Master's
and
like,
it gets him nowhere. Anyway, Eric gets chased by a turtle.
And then, so by this point, like, he gets chased by a turtle and then falls down the hole on top
Yeah.
of
And just
Avenger.
remember this, right? He went off on his own. He has not seen the party in yonks. He went through a swamp. He went through mountains and stuff, and then just happens to be like, I'm right back with him.
And you know his line? I would never leave you guys.
Well, that's just blatant lies.
But
Dungeon
that's
Master's
Eric.
alright.
I think Eric's got the most character development of this entire thing.
I'm identifying more with Eric as the series goes on.
I am too. It's weird. So basically, he accidentally saves the day. Vengeance just disappears. They run away. They save the dwarfs, and the DM basically BS's his way out of explaining anything at all. And then that's the end of the episode. He kind of says a one-liner, and then that's about it. It's like, Dungeon Master, how did you've got all that power? Why don't you always use it? And he's like.
He says it again. He just puts out something that's vaguely...
He says like, power is it's all in your heart. It comes within.
He just makes up these nonsense things like it would be like me saying, wisdom is like a leaf in a bowl.
Wisdom's like a leaf in a
and someone's like, what does that mean? And I'm like, but to know the meaning is to be a...
To be a leaf on a tree is to be a bark of a woman. I don't know.
Yeah, no, he just spouts these things that make no sense.
Exactly.
And then just plays it off as if that was like really that clever thing that he just said.
But yeah, that was the Dungeon Master centric episode where we learned that Dungeon Master's OP can be captured, but you shouldn't capture him.
I've never seen anyone in fiction or reality being kidnapped or abducted, trying once to stop it, and then being like, oh well. Yeah, I'm captured.
It's pretty easy to catch it, Ollie.
I'm just gonna be in a bit of ice and then die and then somehow be fine.
Yeah, somehow.
Look, I'm fine. I'm back.
And Bristow's magic always kind of backfires, but it works in a way. That's what.
I don't know how many more of these I can do, honestly. Can we set the next goal, like, really high? Like, can we say, like, 500 views on this video? We'll do the next
500.
one. I know.
You don't ever want to do it?
I'm so done.
Are you done now?
This is
you don't want to ever do this
Let's say 200.
Okay, so 200.
200, alright.
Say 200, because last time was 150.
Yeah,
and
we got there too easily. And I had to take time out of my life to watch
You
this.
kind of enjoy it, in a way.
Don't tell them the truth.
Why? Because then they won't do it.
No,
because if they like you, they don't want to do something that makes you miserable.
No, they're all on your side. I'm trying to get...
Why are they on my side?
Because, I don't know, people tend to like you more on the channel.
No, they do. Oh, you on this comment thing again. Oh, you brought this up on the podcast too.
Yeah.
They didn't mean it.
Yes, they did.
They didn't.
Everyone hates me.
Anyway.
That's us reviewing the cartoon from the 80s.
Yeah.
My favourite thing about doing these videos is you guys commenting and being like, oh, I remember watching this when I was a kid. We didn't have it here in New Zealand.
No, this is us discovering it for the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, we like doing it for the ridiculous of the show.
Yeah.
And I'm sure at the time it made sense.
I actually watched this one with my partner Julia, and she was real helpful because she supplied additional sarcastic comments that I could write down.
Really? Well, name one.
Oh, God.
Because you haven't been that sarcastic here.
No, I tried. Bacon Face, I think she was the one that pointed out Bacon Face.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and the fact that, at one point Sheila, sees them. She takes off invisibility. She goes, oh, there they are! And these ogres go, oh, I heard something. And then she vanishes and they go, oh, it must have been a shadow. And it's like...
that feels like such a gaming thing. It's like... Must have been the wind.
Yeah, because no, a shadow. A, a shadow does not make any noise. And B,
must have been a shadow.
Yeah, what the worst kind of guards in the world. We heard a noise, and it's our job to investigate. Oh, there's no one in the immediate vicinity. Therefore,
they're the worst guards. But imagine how bad the dwarfs will be then.
To be captured and still be enslaved.
Yes,
by these
exactly.
guys. Holy mother.
Anyway, that was a lot of fun.
That was.
So yeah, if you do want to watch another one, make sure you like. We'll say 10 likes as well.
Cool.
Because
200 views and 10 likes, we'll do the next one. Or, okay, cool.
So we won't say and,
okay.
We'll say or.
Right.
If you do want another one, and Please. Chances are, if that hits it this time, 200, we'll keep on doing it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
By that rate.
Yeah.
Because that means you guys are actually watching it.
Yeah,
so.
which I still don't you guys have libraries or something you could go to?
So you're telling people not to watch our content?
I feel bad for them.
You're now pitying our audience.
Thanks for watching.
Do you want to be any more condescending to people out there?
No, we love you. You're awesome. Don't stop watching our channel.
And you wonder why they give me the compliments.
Alright, well, that's us. We're gone.
Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Do all the lovely stuff. And leave a comment down below what you thought of the episode as well. Anything we should have pointed out. Anything what to expect next episode. Asking us to keep an eye out for this.
And remember, if someone ever breaks into your house in the middle of the night, just do a quick scan of the immediate vicinity and then just chalk it up to being a shadow.
That's what I do.